Let's start off with News Nation's Brooke Schaefer, who is in Rocky Mount, North Carolina for us today. Brooke, good morning to you. What issues will the Trump campaign be homing in on today?
Well, Markie, you can already see some Trump supporters lining up here even before the sun comes up here in North Carolina. The Trump campaign saying that the former president today is going to talk about the economy and the housing crisis in this state in what could be one of his final pitches to North Carolina voters. The race here in this battleground really could not be any tighter. Still a toss-up this morning. And Democrats, they actually have a chance at flipping the Republican-leaning state. North Carolina, it's gone Republican 10 of the last 11 races. Obama won in 2008, and he was the first Democrat to win here in nearly 3 decades. This dead heat race and an opportunity here for Democrats leading us to dueling rallies today. Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Trump each stumping in North Carolina with rallies at roughly the same time, only about an hour away from each other. The Harris campaign believes they've got the enthusiasm on their side. Trump and his team looking to cut through that, solidify his lead in this pivotal battleground, one of those 7 states that could sway this election. The former president, during a rally in Pennsylvania last night, talking about the support he says his campaign is seeing in North Carolina.
We're doing great, really good in North Carolina. How about the people of North Carolina? They showed up to vote in record numbers, and the place was practically demolished by Hurricane Helene.
And Markie, North Carolina, another battleground state seeing enormous record early voting turnout. Preliminary data from the state shows already about 3.2 million people have voted early here in North Carolina. Markie.
And we just, Brooke, heard Trump reference Hurricane Helene there on stage last night. A new survey found Hurricane Helene is playing a role for some of those voters as they head to the ballot box. In what way?
To your point, Markie, the former president has made that storm a talking point on the campaign trail. There is a new survey released this week by Elon University, and it found that this storm has really galvanized some voters in North Carolina, motivated in part by the federal response to the state's widespread damage. Trump and some Republicans have looked to sow frustration with the response, falsely claiming even just yesterday that nobody from the federal government was here helping after the storm. FEMA and the White House have pushed back on those comments. Still, that poll we're talking about, finding about 20% of voters say they are more likely to vote because of Hurricane Helene. Keep in mind, this state still very much recovering from that massive storm in western North Carolina this morning. There are still hundreds of people without power. Markie?
Yeah, just ravaged by it. We've been curious how it will affect the election process, especially next week. Brooke Schaefer, thank you so much.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.